Anyway, I forgot the background music, didn't I? Well, let's just start with this. Got that. Oh, look right into the light then. Let's get some background music up then. Let's hit up YouTube. I've been using the same Zelda music for ages, but that's alright, isn't it? Slightly different Zelda music. That'll do nicely. And I'll show you what we're doing today. I'm ganjikidd. I'll do the introduction. Got some things to check out. Got some things to see how they're working. First of all, I will find my Twitch and pop out my chat. Check that Twitch is working. Find 1 2 my Twitch. 1 2. You can hear me. Chat. Can hear me. Yep, you can hear me. So that's that. Let's pop out the chat. Pop out. Boom. That's you in the room. Boom, boom. Shake the room. So that's that. We've got that. We've got this. We've got that. We've got it all. We got it all. That's got it all. We've got it all. So first of all, I'll just do the little introductions. Hi, you're with Scott. This is ganjikidd, my stream. It's midnight. It's always midnight. This is your right ear. And this is your left ear. It's back to the middle. It's actually 5:45, 5:45, Greenwich Mean Time, British time. And British winter time, summer, winter time. It's 5:45. So I'm on a little bit earlier than I normally. I'm going to try and get on at 2 o'clock. My New Year's resolutions are the podcast and try and start streaming from 2 o'clock in the afternoon for some of the days. Anyway, I'm not doing that today. I stayed up till 5 o'clock last night. What I want to do today is I want to do a continuation of what we were doing the other day, which is a game called Yabatanien. It's a game called Yabatanien. Yabatanien. It's like 2 parts, 1 and 2. We're just doing the first one. It's a violent. What's that? Zombie eating a little. Oh no. It's a violent game in ways. It has violent scenes in it. And we were going to use it as a jumping off point to talk about video game violence in a discussion, as a little discussion, as a little chat. We were going to have a little chat together. And there's some other things that I need to mention before we get going with that. Let me just check and there's some other things. Yeah, I'm in sync with my microphone. My camera's in sync with my microphone. That's good. I get a bit confused. Let me do one thing at a time. So, we're going to be discussing violence. We're going to be finishing off this game today. If you see on the screen here, I've rescued all these girls, but there's 2 I haven't rescued, and that one's just been eaten. And I got to a point in the game where I kind of got stuck. I'll show you. I'll run it again up to the point where I'm stuck. Show you rescuing all these girls, and then I'll show you why I got stuck and what the next step is. And then we'll try and finish the game. And we'll probably do that by utilising... Let me go back to my big face. Got my web browser up there. By utilising one of these walkthroughs off the old YouTube. They're only 15 minutes long. It's like a little, tells you the answer. And I'll show you why I have to do that in a minute. We're going to get to that. And it's all about violence and the context and concepts. So it's a really interesting part of the game. And I want to use it as part of this jumping off point to talk about violence. I'm not an expert on violence in video games. I know lots of people have had their say on that issue. I just thought if leading up to Christmas, if we take that as an ideal time to talk about violence, I just thought we'd start it with this game and we'd see where it went. And I've got some other things to bring to stream that we're going to talk about that show and tell violence. Yay. Not in a big heavy, I'm not going to be streaming about violence every day. Just going to be bringing it up every now and then a little bit more often than normal people would. So anyway, and I don't have firm set opinions. Like I said, I think at the start I should just investigate and just experience and find out. But I do have some ideas, and my ideas are basically that it's not even that bad doing violence on video games. It's not really that bad. That the world is bad, and that there are some real extremes in the world. And if our children are exposed to the realities of the world, then like the video games aren't so bad. For example, just to illustrate my point, if I look on the oh hello, come on the keyboard, BBC we want. BBC, and what I want is just the news for today. That'll be fine. Yeah, BBC News for today. We'll just check what's going on in England, which is where I live. So there's been an explosion. A bomber has bombed a hospital, and they're talking about him and his motives there. So that's quite violent. It's quite dangerous and violent. Someone's been hit by a car and they're dead. That's a horrible tragedy. Violent. You know, it's like, when I say violent, I'm not just talking about someone punching someone, you know, or getting someone in a headlock or shouting. I'm also talking about, you know, a car hitting the violence of the realities of our not natural but unnatural world. This is about a serial killer, so that's violence, isn't it? That's about the railways, so there's no violence there. Safe spaces for injection spiking victims. That's violent, isn't it? Being spiked, and then whoever knows what. Driver was stabbed to death with son in car. He was stabbed to death after taking his son to see his grandparents. That's tragic. I read that article a little bit earlier. He was forced to stop his car because someone stepped out in front of him, and he decided to get out and have a shouting at the person who'd stepped out in front of him. You know, like one of these situations, and he got stabbed and is now dead. So there's all violence. 10 more held over Manchester United disorder. That's violence. So if I was just a young person, I think I'm being exposed to, even if I'm not seeing this violence on the streets, which I probably am, if I, you know, live in an urban area, you know, it's happening. So you probably see some of it sometimes. But I'm not like being deliberately exposed to it. You know, I'm not sat down at home, video game, and then outside my window people are smashing bricks and crashing cars. Maybe, or maybe not, I don't know. But if I look on the news, or if the news is played on the television, if I'm aware of what's happening in the world, then all violence, all sorts of violence. I'm not proactively, like, I'm reading the news, so I'm not proactively engaging in the violence. I get that. I'm just saying and that's the sort of scary real violence that, you know, you can worry about, can't you? Because I'm not saying you do Mental Health Monday every Monday on this channel. I'm not saying you should worry about, but you know, if you're playing a video game and someone, you know, shoots you in the video game, when you go outside, you're unlikely, in the UK, it might be different in America, but you're unlikely to encounter somebody with a gun with the same sort of motivations and lack of consideration that they would have in a video game. Whereas people get hit by cars, football violence, stabbings, you go out on the streets, that's where it's happening. So the violence and the reality is, to me, a little more scary, I guess, a little more scary than video game violence. And personally, I've grown up with video games, violence in video games, violence in films and media, violence in the real world. And I think the real world violence situations are the ones that have made me more anxious and also more inclined to involve myself with, not instigate, but you know, to react with violence. Whereas playing a computer game, no matter how long I've played it for, no matter how much Grand Theft Auto, I've not then, you know, as much as you might think about it, what would it be like to actually steal a car? Like, it wouldn't be like Grand Theft Auto where you just pull the people out and then you drive. Hey, it'd be violent, and you know, the people might fight back, and the car driving it and you crash. It's not like in the game where you just crash and don't care. Like, you know, you're physically thrown around, and you know, it wouldn't be as enjoyable as Grand Theft Auto. So I did not then go and steal a car and drive around. Like, obviously, it didn't. Playing the games did not make me act out that violence in real life. There is a theory that, and quite a substantiated evidence theory, that people who are violent because of the real world and the things that the real world has done to them to make them violent, people who are violent, who have learned violence, then enjoy a violent computer game more. So that connection between violent people and violent computer games is made by the violent people finding the media they enjoy, not by the media turning them into violent people. So that's a take on it. That's where I'm starting from. I think society is, and this isn't good, what I'm looking at in the news there, obviously. That's not good, this violence. It's bad violence, and I think we should be working to stamp it out. Stamp it out. Funny, aren't I? See what I did there? Because it's a violent analogy. Metaphor. I don't know, part of language, whatever it is, it's fine. So we should be working against, pacifying our streets and our peoples, working on reducing the pressures that are sending them over the edge and on the edge, working at removing those social barriers that are causing people to rub up and create fiction and ideas going wrong and dangerous driving. These things can be...
Hell yes. Takes the pressure off of me.
Hello, thank you very much for your tippy chippies. Thank you very much. I did not change the sound thing. I've been working on something else. You're still the winner. You know who it is, so you're still the winner. But that was on my list of things to do today before I started stream, but we didn't even finish the edit for Mental Health Monday. So, but thank you for your tippies. I appreciate them, and it's still nice that they come up on the screen and it makes the sound. That's good. So yeah, the real world violence needs to be ironed out. Again, I use the violent metaphor. The real world violence needs to be ironed out, and we could do with focusing on that. But for some reason, they focus on the video games. And I should get into the game in a minute, shouldn't I? But I do all my talking. I wanted to do this talking first, play loads of violent video games, and then at the end do more talking to see if we got any other ideas, and maybe get someone on the podcast to talk about violence in video games for the future. But for now, this is the little seed, isn't it? So the other thing that I think that I've been musing over, because I haven't written extensive notes, I just want this to be organic because I want to go through the process. The other thing I've been thinking is that for some reason, I think because violence in real life has been so consistent, so we get desensitized to things that are always there. It's happening with coronavirus. People are already desensitized to the point where they don't even care to wear a mask. Desensitization is a simple process of just being around something long enough till you no longer feel the same way you used to. The threat, the fear. It can be good in a way to be desensitized to something, in the way that we don't all panic every time we get in a car, because majority of the time the car will be safe. It can be dangerous, but if we felt that fear and danger every time, no one would ever drive anywhere. So we get desensitized to it. We practice, we learn, we get desensitized to it. But it can help us. It can help people to kill people. If you're in the army or you're a soldier or even God forbid a police person, and you have to use violence in your day-to-day life, you need to not feel that fight or flight. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you still feel it, but in me, there's such a instinctive. I don't want to engage in the violence, so if I can avoid it, my instinct is to try and make a situation calm down and be, diffused. But if you can harness it, like if you're going to be a soldier, that's not a good idea, because you're going to run in there with your gun and then you're going to say, oh, do you mind, maybe, look, if I just put my gun down and you put yours down and we just talk this out, and your general and your sergeant and your captain are going to say, you pick up your gun, and you're going to say, well, I've got a different concept. It's not, they've trained it out of you, you're desensitized, you're just in there, pop, 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 and that's what I guess some people might say computer game violence can do. Maybe. So there's something to think about there, but we're desensitized to the common daily violence because it's so common, in a way. One of the funny things, when COVID kicked off and people were saying, oh, but the flu kills people. The flu kills people every year. Why are we so worried about the COVID? The flu kills people. I thought to myself, well, I didn't realise how many people the flu killed. Let me look into it. And then I looked into it and I thought, well, we should be taking more care with the flu. Like, we shouldn't be like, oh, well, less care with the COVID because the flu kills people. We should be like, let's try and stop the flu killing people. I should have taken it more seriously. So it's funny the way that desensitization works. Got a little bit off track there. But with the computer games, I think because the majority of I mean, you have to start with films before you can start with computer games, but the majority of media has not been violent. There are a lot of violent films, and a lot of them are controversial for those reasons. There's a lot of violence within the media because it reflects real life, so we're desensitized to it. I get that. With the media that's made towards children, there's no violence, or very little. Or if it's violent, it's cartoon. Maybe there is actually. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that. You know, lots of cartoons contain violence, didn't they? Yeah, there's lots of violence in media for children. It's weird, isn't it? Lots of violence in media for children. But with computer games, I think because the gaming world now is evolved beyond its nascent stages. One of our interviews in the Stugan film, one of our interviewees, the Stuganeer, a very intelligent person called Lucy, was talking about how they've evolved past their prepubescent teenage stage. So computer games have been around for a shorter amount of time than the rest of the media. Initially they were made for children mainly, and then the children got a bit older and the people who were making them made the games a bit more adult, like Street Fighter 2, and you know, it went from Mario and Sonic and Pong, Street Fighter 2 and Streets of Rage, and beating people up, you know, war games. And as the industry evolved, so did who was playing, how many people were playing, but also the things that they were doing. So now it's not just games, now it's like experiences and media, so it's a bit more beyond. So that's why I wanted to start with something that was a bit more like and let's just switch over to this. All fairy tales have splats. Yes, that's true actually. The fairy tales are all violent, aren't they? We could talk about that, couldn't we? Books and violence as well. Yeah, a lot of violence in fairy tales. The old stories, chopping people up and putting them in the oven. Eat wolves eating people. A lot of violence, yeah. It's a lot of violence, isn't it? I wanted to start with a really pixel art style game, because I wanted to start with something, even though this is a modern game, it's presented in this cartoony, childlike. I love pixel art and I love the design and the style. It's very evocative of my youth. So I wanted to start with something like this for that reason, and then we're going to move on to some more some more sophisticated violence. But yeah, this is where we're starting from. And I think because computer games started from this, because computer games started from Marios and things like that, and a lot of children play computer games. A lot of us grew up playing them and had fond memories of things like Zelda and Mario. Zelda's got a lot of violence in it, hasn't it? Mario jumps on everyone's heads. But any sort of graphic... Let's go back up to the roof. Any sort of graphic violence, you know, adult violence, violent movies have an 18 certificate. We had that whole thing where they had to... Oh no, now we have to certify computer games because there are some adult violent computer games. There was a whole, you know, not maybe one episode we should dig into that history a little bit, but I'm not going to go over it here because it's history and we all know a bit of it. But you know, violent computer games. What the point that illustrates the point I'm trying to make is that I think it's more shocking when a game is ultra violent in the same way as when a film can be, because the media in general is perceived to be a lot more sanitized, soft touch, or has been perceived to be a lot more sanitized, soft touch. Now you've had the Mortal Kombat years, the teenage years. Now you've had the Call of Duty, the Code of War, Medal of Shoot Everything Forever. You know, things are a little different now. Fond memories of fighting over the controller, yeah. Fighting over the controller even, yeah. Violence within... That's meta violence, isn't it? Meta violence. I need to move the chat. Hang on, let me do this. Come on, you chat mover. Yeah. Have I done it wrong? I've done it wrong. Fond memories. Yeah, you know what? I spotted that. I'm moving the chat, moving it until it does this. Okay, yeah, there. And then I'm going to make it bigger. I shouldn't be doing this. It should be such a professional that it should already be bigger. I've been messing with the settings this week. Right. And as we go into this game, if this game's out of sync, I'm going to have to fix it in the edit. But you'll see why I've been messing with the settings when I bring something new to stream this week. Anyway, so I think because games are perceived to be a little more, or have been perceived to be a little more soft touch, a little more for kids, that when they see violence in them, they're a lot more shocked by the violence. And because you're interacting with it and you're dealing with it yourself and therefore doing it yourself, you know, I'm doing the shooting, I'm doing the bad thing in the game, then they worry that kids are infected by it in some way. But again, you know, kids run around playing cowboys and Indians, or that would be bad now, wouldn't it? That would be racist. But when I was a kid, we ran around playing cowboys and Indians, even though it was racist, because we didn't know any better. And this is not drugs, this is just a ginger supplement. Oh my god. The ginger supplement, right? I bought it as a I think, what's the word, analgesic, to make you feel less travel sick. And anyway, I bought this ginger supplement and I take them sometimes, and it's because it's like root ginger in a tablet. When you put it in your mouth, you breathe in a little bit, you just get that ginger hit straight to the back of your throat. Chuffing, eh? So anyway, let's get on with the game, and let's I'm not like gonna, we're gonna have to play a few games. I'm gonna have to find a few things on the internet. We're gonna have to do a bit of talking. I've done a bit of a scene setting and I haven't got any firm answers, but I wanted to show you now why this game is special for a certain reason. So I've rescued a lot of people here, and I've got to a point in the game where I'm stuck. I'm absolutely stuck, I can't get any further. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how far I've got and how stuck I got. If I could use the buttons. Let's return to title screen and start a new game. And then we're going to find out how to finish it using the internet and talk about it. Right, so explore the gap. No, I remember how to use the buttons. So what you do, first thing, I'm going to get my key. Silver key, I'll take my key. Yep. This is teaching me how to use the items. Look, keyhole, key, done. In. Right, I'm in. Now, I remember that I need to switch on these lights in a certain order, and they need to be... Oh, I remember, do I? I remember, do I? I know that that one's yellow, and that it's green and purple at the top. So this must be blue. Yeah, this must be blue. And then I'm going to need this block of ice and a key. I've run it a few times, and I've you know, come and solved some problems, and I've also come unstuck a bit. I'm not going to worry about my step counter too much, but I just want to show you some things. This thing here. Now, I can get this girl down without any problem. In fact, I'll just do that first, and I'll show you the thing. Right, let's get the girl down without any problem. I will need to go to the top. I'm just going to get this. I'm going to fail it, but I'm going to fail it for a reason. Look, and you'll see why. Right, there's my battery. I'm going down to the first floor where I put the battery. Now, I can put the battery in either way here. If I put it in that way, this thing will pull up. And if I put it in, take the battery, I'll put it in the other way, and I'll show you why. And I'm also going to need, because I'm going to be cutting some rope, I'm going to need to go up there and get a scissors thing, but it doesn't matter for now. It doesn't matter for now. Because it's going to take a bit of time, and I'll show you why. Right, so let's just get this girl. There she is. She's... Oh, no, that's bad. I could pull this either way with the switch because I've put the battery in. So I don't want to hurt her. Obviously, that's the point of the game. I'm rescuing them. So I'm going to let her... Look, she's going to go down now. Look, I switched it. She's going down because I put the battery in the wrong way around at the bottom. So let's go down to the bottom. First floor. Here she is. Now I can cut that string if I get a string cutter, which I will get in a bit. And she's rescued. Hooray. Hooray. That seems good, doesn't it? In fact, might as well show you because, you know, this is the point of what I'm showing you, isn't it? So, to get a string cutter, I'm going to need a few things. I'm going to need a screwdriver, and I'm going to pop downstairs to... Wrong room. Look, this is a problem. I do that lever, and this thing comes down, it kills her. Right? But it takes some time. So I do the lever... Go through here, up here. I'm going to grab that bit of wood. I'm going to go down here, through here. This bit of wood is going to sit in there. Then I'm back, up, with the screwdriver to unscrew these. I got this all figured out. Take that off. Grab the key. Down, in. It's broken, but I've still got time to use the key. Person saved. Rescued. No bloody violence. You know, it's funny because on the way there, obviously she gets horribly murdered when I got it wrong a number of times. That was the stream we did the other day. But in learning it, I've managed to save her. So the point is no violence. It was cartoon violence, and then I've avoided it. So that's good. That's good. So now I've done that, what it also enables me to do is I can switch that now. I can go up here, through here, down here, and now in the other side. Oh, look, you're asleep. That needs to be pink. And you are holding a big knife that will drop on the sleeping girl. So I don't want to rescue you yet. I want to sort out the sleeping girl, don't I? See how it works? It's like a lovely puzzle game, this is. It's a lovely puzzle game. So I'll grab this phone from over here. You've got to work these things out, trial and error. Grab the phone from over here. Going to head downstairs. You might notice, see, I've made a little mistake here. You might notice this has got, you could like where I took the board of wood from the other door. You can put a board of wood on that door. Now I didn't notice that until, so I'm showing you my mistakes as well. I'm going to take the phone down to the first floor. A lot of working out came. Look, there's a phone there. Oh right, okay, hang on. So this girl's asleep in the bed. So I've got to go. Ideally in as minimal steps as possible without going to the wrong floor. Here she is. Let's put the phone down there. Up, out, through, down, and back. I like logic games like this. Let's call her up. Oh, nice. And we're going to now pop up to wrong floor. You see, that's extra steps because I'm an idiot. Let's go down to her room. And there she is. I've rescued her. Yay. No, look, you see that thing hanging over her head? That's now not going to chop her in half because... Oh. Job done. Job done. We're getting somewhere. One more thing, one more light to change, and that's this. Oh, no, it's not this room. I might as well grab this slide while I'm here. This light is going to be green. There's a monster. Oh, bad look. Oh. And the reason I've done those lights that colour, see this here? It's a light, it shines through the window. And to make it shine through the window, you turn on the power here by switching this fan on for some reason. It's like a fan-driven power system. So you switch on the power, the light shines through the window. It shows you some outside, some colours which corroborate with those colours that I've already been switching on and off. And that will get us into... not the Temple of Time, which I can hear in the background, but this tower. Ah, I put the Zelda music on. This game's got no music, so I just... if you can hear the Temple of Time, that's what it is. It gets us into this tower. I see. This is tower, right. And because that ladder wasn't down before, but now it is. Now it is, right? So that's good. And I'm just going to quickly use the slide, because I don't want it in my inventory. And we're going to pop the slide in this, which is obviously where it goes, isn't it? Turn that baby on. Oh, look. Someone's looking through the eye, and then the bush has moved. Someone's looking through an eye scanner, and the bush has moved. Okay? That's handy to know. Handy to know. Down to the first floor, outside. Because that's over here. Look, there's an eye scanner, and there's this bush which I need to move. There's a tennis ball in the bush, I'll have that. You don't want to pick everything up all the time because you can fill up your inventory. You've only got 4 slots. You can't just put things down any which way. But I can't look at this. Why can't I look at this? Let's just get my tips, because you get tips on the way. The slide photo you picked up is the key. Oh, I see. Somebody else needs to look at this. Somebody else with dark hair. Maybe it's that girl that I haven't rescued. Okay. No problem. I'm going to head up the tower. Heading up the tower. I'll just show you this. Look. That on the wall there, that has the little lights that light up when you do the light in the window thing. When you do the light in the window thing. Which I need to make sure, actually. I need to make sure. Sorry, I just noticed your chat wasn't quite all on the screen because I'm useless. So now I have to fix it because I was like OCD. Not real OCD. There you go, that's better. Yeah, it helps with the nausea. What I wanted to make sure of in here was that we haven't got this window open, yeah? And I'll show you for why in a minute. Because now there's another really cool... Because it's a little puzzle game. Here's a really cool puzzle that I had to figure out. Here are some matches. I'll pick those up. What's this? Uh-oh, she's going to be hung if I burn all those ice blocks out. But I want to burn the ice blocks because I've got matches. This is obviously a stove. And I've got an ice block with a key in it. And that key goes in there, doesn't it? So it all feels like this is all right. So what I did was I popped the matches in the stove. It's on, it's hot. Let's get moving because time is ticking. Let's take that key. Yes, please. We'll pop that key in there. That opens up that. So I'm in. Every time you take a different movement, a step, it advances time in the game with those people that are off screen. So throw the tennis ball to get this down. That looks right. I'm going to grab this while I'm here. A valve handle. Bear in mind that those blocks are moving based on how I'm moving. So if I'm not quick, they're going to melt. So I need to go downstairs 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps. There's my snippers. Snippy snippers. Take them. 6 steps, 7, 8, 9, 10. One of the blocks is gone. One of the blocks is gone. See, so I've got to be quick. I'll cut that person down. Hooray! Rescued. Now, I'll show you what I did that went wrong. Don't know if I should. Should I take these blocks? What I did was I ignored these blocks. Okie dokie. Yeah, we'll leave them for now. I just didn't, I didn't want those blocks. I didn't want to fill up my inventory. I got the snippy snippers and I wanted to rescue this girl, look. She's hanging upside down. So I've wheeled her down, winched her down. This is the point of the game. Rescue the girl. She'll see me rescuing the others. So I'll rescue this one, look. Chip, snip her down. It's you. It's not. It's E. Tanaka, but it can be you if you want. Because, well, you're not going to like what's about to happen. You'll see. You're invested in it now. You're invested. That's you. E. Tanaka. She's been rescued, though, look. Okay, so that's good. I've got this valve. Seems to go there. And I turn it on. And the water comes out. Hot water, that is. It's boiling hot. Wonder why that is. So then I went around, did all the other puzzles, and I actually got to a point where I was stuck. There's this monster here. I've only got 3 girls left to rescue. I haven't seen the other 2 yet. There's 2 missing. I know there's the one in here. We've seen her. But where are the other 2? I haven't seen them yet. Down this tower. We've been down here. Oh, on the way there's that gruesome torture device. Optician's torture device. But out here there's nothing. Oh, there's a gravestone, and then this is the other side of those bushes, which you can move if you find the girl who's got the corroborating eye pattern. So can I do this? No. It'll give me a tip, and the tip says move the gravestone, you need the maximum power supply. Right. Oh, well, I've been messing about with this game, and I know how to make the maximum power supply. Because look, there's a solar panel missing. The solar panel, check this out. I'll press this. Uh-oh, there's a zombie. It's going to break the glass. But don't worry, because if I go down here, where the zombie was, there's a solar panel. So I will have that. Take that. Need to switch these off, I think. Maybe I should have done that earlier, because it's all steps. Oh, the zombies come through the... Smashing the glass, look. I need to quickly... I should have turned off all those lights first, because they make a difference. I need to get maximum power out of this, don't I? So I can go under the grave and get the bolt cutters, which must be in some way over there, to release... Oh, no! She's been out. So what I need to do next time is make sure I've turned off all the lights in advance. But there's more to it than that. Because I did that and it didn't work. I didn't even manage to get... Look, there's a bolt cutters there. That looks like where they belong. And on this tower, there's bolt cutters there. That's what I need. And if you do your little present, it says you can access it from outside. Okay. That seems fair. This here, you can cut those ropes. I've got cutters. I can cut those ropes. Look, another tip. Look. Some parts of the rope are fragile. If I cut the ropes... Are you sure? Yeah, go for it. Uh-oh. I've become a dweller of this mansion and will wander it for all eternity. Oh, that's a problem. Because I need to be able to open the thing with the eye. In order to get over there now and get up that rope ladder that I've created, to get in and get the bolt cutters, that eye thing. But I haven't found the girl with the eyes. So I got stuck. Now let me show you. You had it coming. You wait. You wait to see what you've got coming. Let me show you what the answer is to this. I've taken a capture by mistake. Return to title screen. Yes. Let's start the game. So I know this is a bit boring because I'm repeating it, but this is what iterative, not just design. I mean, we like iterative design in humanity, but it's an iterative process. So this is what happens when you play the game. I'm going to have this. Because now you know what you're doing, don't you? You're like, oh, I'm grabbing these things because I know what I'm doing. No messing about for me. I'm going to need the situation over here to be resolved because I need to... I'm going to need that board of wood, I think, later. I've got an idea I might need a different board of wood. So I'm going to need this situation to be resolved. Let me just think why. Yeah, because I need to... Wait, I need to grab the battery. So you need to remember all these things and try and do them in the best order. I'll have the screwdriver. I'll have the battery. And I'm going to need to go up the tower. So, yeah, I need to do all the... Of course, I need this situation resolved because I need to get into the room with the phone because I need all the different lights to be the right colours. In which case, this is going to be green. And I need to get into the thing with the purple one. Let's get rid of the battery while we're at it. I'm just going to pop the battery in. But wait, I'm going to pop it in that way. That way. Uh-oh. We need to get this room sorted. So my route of doing it... Should I try the rotten board? I've never tried the rotten board before. It might mess it up. But we can still get in the other room if we do. So let's try it. My route of doing it was with the bolt. But we're going to try the rotten board. Up here. We're going to try... Over here there's a rotten board, look. I'm going to try that. See if it can give us enough time. No, we can't get it in there in time, I don't think. I buggered it up. Whoops. So she's going to die. Ah. Let's pop that there. And let's just do that. Oh no, we need the... I'm an idiot. Of course we needed this one because we need to get in and out of that door. I'm an idiot. So I'm getting confused. I'm definitely getting confused, but I'm going to want to turn this off anyway because I don't like the sound of it. Take that. But you see, she can not be saved. It's optional. The horrible violence. There we go. Now she's saved, but it's a bit too late for her. But, you know, I don't have to save it, do I? Do I? I don't know. Look, watch. You'll like this. So, I'm now going to go into this room. I'm going to change this to pink because I need to get up the tower. I'm going to go up here. Now, I can put this bolt here in the zombie room. So that's interesting. I'm actually going to go and save this girl with the phone because I just want... I've already buggered it up, haven't I? But I just want to. Got the wrong floor again. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Absolutely. This is what's going to be made more apparent in this game in a minute. In fact, why do I even need to borrow? I just put the phone there. It's not relevant now, is it? The phone. It's not the bit I want to show you. Let's show you the bit I want to show you. Let's go to the first floor. Right, we've got this set up. We can winch her down and just... It's you. We can winch you down and just free you. Yellow. But we can also put some boiling water underneath you. Now, I tried it with the boiling water, and it boils her. It's not attractive. It's not pretty. So I'm not going to show you the excess violence that I don't need to. Because it would mean I have to run another game of it again. But, you know, if you want to play that game yourself and see what it looks like, you can. It's in your own psyche, and it's up to how determined you are. But you can put water in there, but it's boiling hot. Right, so get this. This is where I had to look this on the internet and learn it on the internet. So I did a bit of a cheats guide, and I'll show you the cheat. It's not cheating, it's how you're supposed to do it. And then we'll look at the other ones afterwards, because this is all about this bigger concept. So I'm up here. I've got my tennis ball, I've got my matches, I'm ready to do my process. So I like this. Get my key on. Grab my key. It's a dark key. Ooh. Open the grate. I'm through here. I'm tennis ball. I'm scissors. Snippy snips. I'm valve handle. I am down the ladders. Because I do want to save these girls. That's the whole point. I've got the snippy snips. I'm up the ladders. I'm snippy snips. You're saved, right? But get this. Don't let these ice blocks go to waste. And I would never have thought of this myself. I would have been able to reason out. You know, through trial and error, a process, an iterative process, I would have got here eventually. But my own creative mind wouldn't have suggested this solution to me, because I wouldn't have thought it was the goal. In fact, I would have thought it went against the goal. And in terms of failure and success in computer games, in the past, you know, the early generations that I was brought up in, success and failure was a clear line. How many lives you had left? You know, do you beat the boss? Are you still alive? Success and failure is a clear line. It got more blurry in subsequent media productions. You know, not only games, but certain experiences, whether is there a failure and success? Is there even a failure or a success? Different endings, different opinions on what success and failure should be. Therefore, join this faction or do this quest. Different endings. So, for me, successful failure in this, that red cross means bad. Girl dead. Girl saved, big tick. You know, everyone needs to be saved. I need to do it in as many minimal steps as possible. That's my plan. But I would never have got to this. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this up. With hot water. I'm going to pop the ice in the hot water. You need 2 of them to sufficiently cool it. We're leaving the battery in the right way round, which seems a bit dangerous to me. And frankly, it is. Look, it's going to crank that way and it's going to pull up. And this is why we need the water, because when we crank it... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And it won't push time on, remember, until I step and step. So let's step and step. Still cranking, step. Step, still cranking. Oh! Heard a little splush then. What's that? What's that? Is that someone's leg? Let's go and see what we've done. Oh no! But we needed that cold water for her to land in from that great height. We didn't lower her down. She had her leg pulled off and she fell in. See, I'm laughing. It's like cartoon violence, but they've made it a little more... It's only pixel art, right? This is only pixel art, so no one can say, oh, this is violent, oh, bad for kids, like, you can't even really make out what's, you know, a facial expression. It's like there's only a small number of pixels. Your imagination's doing the rest. But come on, the water's gone red. But we needed this water to not be boiling hot, so it didn't boil her. To be cool, so she could land in it after we pulled her leg off. I would never have thought of this. I would never have thought of this. Now... Oh... That's you, that is. You could now be rescued. You might be missing a leg, but you can now be rescued. So look, green. Now, I wouldn't have pulled her leg off. I wouldn't have thought to pull her leg off. I would have been playing this game for weeks. I played it last night. I played it on stream the other day, and I realised that being a puzzle game, I could be here for hours. You never know with me. It could take hours, and I might not get it. I might look stupid. It's not about me looking stupid. It's about the stream being long and boring, tedious. So I decided just to play it on my own, get this far. This is how we're doing it. So I would never have got this. I had to look on the internet for that. Didn't need that leg anyway. Well, we need it. We need it. What? We need the leg? What are you on about? I've got these snips, look. Chop. Why do we need it? I wouldn't have thought of this either. Leg meat. Now, this is vegan. As soon as it's cut off, it becomes meat. But it's like, why is it that, a dead animal, in England, I'll do a big face for this. You can see what's coming with this, can't you? Leg meat. Big face for this. You chewed your own leg off to survive. Chew the rope. Don't chew your leg off. Chew the rope. Look, what we're going to say is that when you kill an animal, suddenly it becomes meat. When you kill a pig, it's not a pig anymore. It's pork. When you kill a cow, it's not a cow anymore. It's beef. When you kill a chicken, it's not a chicken anymore, it's chicken. Oh, it is a chicken, it's the same. But the reason is because when French people came over from Normandy, back then it was called Normandy, when they came into the UK, the United Kingdom, back then it was called Angleland or something like that. When the Normans invaded... CRAVN. When the Normans invaded after the Vikings had invaded, the Angles had invaded, the Romans had invaded, the Celts. When the Normans came out, they brought cooking with them. I'm them now. We're us. We're Britain. Whatever. They brought cooking with them. We'd already done a bit of cooking, but they were French, so they had their own special cooking. Soufflés, crepes, creme anglaise. They brought over their own words, and someone was like, "What's that you're eating?" And they went, "Oh, it's le porc." Because in France, le porc is pig. But we say pig. So we're like, it's not a pig. What is it then? It's pork, apparently. Pork. Oh, I see. When you cook it nicely, like sophisticated people, you call it pork. When I just kill it, it's a pig. So we decided to use these words, these sanitized words, for the dead animal flesh. Once you've killed it and you've removed it, it's now meat. It's not flesh anymore. It's not a carcass, it's meat. It's food, just because of the words. It's not a pig anymore, it's pork. It's still a chicken. So there's a little... we didn't adopt poulet as a word. Probably because we had poo as a word already. Anyway, look. That was a little history lesson. So we're going to take this leg meat. And that is a gruesome scene now, isn't it? But it's all come together for us. Going to need to turn these off. Along the way. Going to want them turned well off. And we're going to want... where's the other one? My brain, forgetful. Small details. I don't know if we want this on or not, but I'll turn it on. What the hell? And I can't go in there anymore because I did that. So this one is going to now be turned off as well. And... oh, we can rescue you, can we? Oh, we didn't do the phone. Oh, let's just rescue you. So, unfortunately, you got murdered. But we've already lost one, so we weren't going to do a perfect run. It was only a matter of going downstairs. It was just me being lazy, but I murdered her anyway. So now we've got leg meat. What's happened to our board? Oh, we broke that board, didn't we? Maybe we can use this. I don't know. Will it go there? No, probably not. Oh, Oh no, our board's there. Our board's there because we forgot we murdered the girl by accident. Because I think we need it. I'm not sure. See, I'm not completely sure I'm on the exact perfect ending for this, but look, check this out. Taking that, in here is this girl. That's the zombie. We know what's coming, but this is the little clue. Look, there's a tray. And these trays have got blood. I didn't notice that before. I didn't pay much attention. I knew it was a bit gruesome. I knew it looked a bit gruesome, but zombie, tray, little girl. Oh, right. Hey, hang on. Leg meat. Now, I would never have got this far because I wouldn't have got the leg meat in the first place. And I wouldn't have put that and that together. But bring on the zombie. Now, our time is ticking based on our steps. We are going to leave this bolt here because I saw them do it on the internet. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to grab my solar panel. Me solar panel. Going up to the... We are on the 4th floor, so unnecessary button presses. Use the solar panel. Now look, we're getting all the power. Is that enough power? I hope it is. Because I can't remember any other thing that I've done that I shouldn't or should. The zombies got out. You heard the glass break. The zombies got out, but our person is not dead. Our person is not dead. Oh, we've bugged it up. I don't know what I've done wrong. I should be able to pull that now. It needs all the power. Oh, it might be these things. Might be these things. I don't know if it is or not. What's going on in here? Oh, you see, look, they're eating the leg meat. So we've got more time. So that's what it's about, isn't it? It's the leg meat. And if I can get this right and turn off all the power things... Maybe it's that. That's off. Is the yellow one off? Yeah. I'm just going in wrong rooms now. What's our power looking like? There's still one power light missing. Why is the one power light missing? What have I done wrong? Oh, now she's dead, right? But in theory, you can see what I'm saying. You can see what I'm saying. That I would have been able to affect the gathering of this next item had I been able to gather that extra time to allow me to do this extra step to the rah. It gets worse. It gets worse. So now we've got to have a look at the high quality leg meat, mate. Yeah, chuck and fed leg meat. Right, look, this has gone wrong. This is the web browser. That's the old violence. This is me. I'm ganjikidd. Check out our YouTube channel. Got a YouTube channel. It's called ganjikidd. It's on YouTube. So they're the important factors to remember about that. And at the bottom there's our other channels: ganjikuts, ganjikidd art chat, ganjikidd mental health Monday, ganji clips, new clips channel. All the streams, all up there. Some of it is edited on the other channels. Hooray! Let's watch somebody else's YouTube videos. And while we're going to do that, we're going to actually have to turn off this. Thank you. Constant chewage. Constant zombie chewage. The, what are we doing? Web browsing. We're going to look at the endings, how it's supposed to be done. Because I would never have got to that. I'd have never have worked it out. And before we just look at the endings, I want to explain quickly why. And why it's so... why it's a critical point of this particular game in the playthrough. Well, the non-playthrough. The play half through. If my leg meat's not going... All the jump squats... That's another point about it, isn't it? Let me quickly address that. Big face. When you die, your body is not going to waste because we bury it or burn it. Like, nobody thinks that. Like, we don't have this culture of like making sure we eat our nan when she dies because otherwise it's a waste. Like, don't throw out that old tin of beans because it's a waste. Make sure you eat the things in the fridge, otherwise you're wasting food. Or we don't think that if we, we don't go down the graveyards making sure we don't waste all the dead people, do we? We let them rest in peace. It's respectful. And for the same reason, we don't have to eat every dead animal. It's not a waste. So we don't have to kill them. That's the waste. The waste is the life. The waste is the life. If it goes to waste, if it's not allowed to be enjoyed in its fullest, to its natural extent, the waste is the life, not the desecration of the corpse. That's not the waste. So anyway, going back to this bad game with the bad violence. Let's switch. Let's do it from this perspective, and let's just go over to there, and let's just turn down the. Oh no, I can't because I have to listen to the scratching. I don't want to go in a different room then. Different room while I talk. A room of violence though, please. This room will do, won't it? Yeah. Okay. Quiet room of violence. What I would never have worked out in this game is that you had, like, it was a conceptual change. It wasn't that you had to rescue all the girls. In fact, we need to go to the leg meat room, really, don't we? You can see what's come in. There we are. You know what I'm going to say now. It wasn't that we had to rescue all the girls. It was that we had to sacrifice some of them, or at least their health, or part of their health, in order to complete the game, to complete the task. So our quest to complete the task, to be the victor in the game, to win the game, became more important than the well-being of the characters within the game. And that was something that I couldn't work out, because I'm preloaded to believe that you save the princess, you heroically save the vulnerable, you protect those, they're even there as crosses and greens, as wins and losses. So it was a hard concept for me to, it's like an outside the box strategy that I would not have thought of. But more importantly, it's a different contextualization of violence. The cartoon violence is there, it's violent, but it's not my aim and my objective, is it? It's not my aim and my objective. And it wasn't worked into my aim and objective in normal games, like jumping on the heads as well. It was in some games, wasn't it? Mario and Street Fighter. It was my aim and my objective, the violence. How do I explain this? Maybe it needs more thought. Maybe I need to go on a dog walk and think about it more. But here, the violence was a means to an end. It wasn't the aim and the objective, which in some ways for me makes it feel more dangerous of a concept. Because whilst young people can be faced with more facile concepts of violence, cartoon violence, and can understand that in the real world it's wrong to involve oneself in those actions. There can be quite clear boundaries drawn. What they did on there is, I'm not going to do that, sort of thing. But when violence becomes a tool, when violence becomes, this is a different concept now. It's not just that violence is part of the mechanics of the game because it's a game. We're doing some shooting, the baddies are getting shot, goodies, baddies, clear-cut lines, shot, not shot. This is about inflicting pain and suffering on someone else in order that you achieve your goals, isn't it? So it's a more sophisticated and subtle concept. And for me to have got it, I was never going to get it. I was never going to think it up. Maybe many young people don't. Maybe not thinking it up is because I'm a product of hopefully some sort of good socialization, that I wouldn't refer to violence as my port of call. I'm seeing it in this game, but I'm seeing it as the thing I want to avoid. I'm trying to rescue the girls. I'm not like, even when they died, it's a bit funny the way they died, haha. Right, back to the start, let's try and do it again where they don't die. But in the utilization of the violence to my own ends, it's made me think in a pattern, a concept, a way that not only was I was taught not to, but I quite reasonably, in a civilized and educated fashion, do not naturally think about, I guess is the right way of saying it. I don't want to be too complex here in what I'm saying. I don't normally think about using violence as a means to an end in that way. Not a direct, I need to put the nail in the wood, so I need a hammer here, hammer using violence. Not in a direct way, but in a way that I don't care if you get hurt and I'm going to do this thing and it's going to hurt you, but you don't matter. What matters is me and my things and my ends. And ironically, what matters is the saving of the girl. Like, she was still able to be saved with a leg missing, so okay. It gave me a green. But it should be a tainted green, shouldn't it be a spattered green? Green spattered with red. Does it matter if it's red spattered? Like you said earlier, the ends, the greater good. Some people have to sacrifice. I don't know. What are we saying here? And what sort of, like, as a child, when we're talking about the concepts of violence that are being taught to children through the media, through the have I still got my BBC News? Through the media. When we're talking about the violence in the media, there are some quite sophisticated and complex actions at work, but quite often they're more black and white, aren't they, in a way that a child could read into it and say, well, goody and baddie. Goody got hit by a car, baddie did some serial killing, baddie blew up a bomb. They like to contextualise things, even though it's a spectrum of human behaviour, and everyone's good and bad on different days over the course of their lives. Maybe not to these extremes, but even though, we're all human, they like to paint it in these easier to jump on a particular opinion sort of perspectives. It's easier if it has a clear line, isn't it? It's easier if it's not very complex, because everyone in the country's got to try and get their head around it. So there's the violence in the media like that, but again, like that media, and then playing out in the increasingly complex and sophisticated, but initially quite facile and surface level other media. The television, the cartoons, the films. James Bond, in the early stages when I was growing up watching James Bond shoot his guns and kill the baddies, was just as facile as the way the news media portray their goodies and baddies, wasn't it? In fact, even more facile. It's got more complex these days. You can get anti-heroes and all sorts these days. And of course, there always were, but, talking of fiction as well. But you know what I mean? I guess there's always been a spectrum of that. But it's more comfortable for society to be able to say, this is good, this is bad. And when we now take violence, where am I on the Nintendo Switch? When we now take violence into our thinking as a means, we're not taught this in school. Hopefully. We're not taught this. I'm not suggesting that kids should play this game. What I'm saying is that looking on a surface level and seeing violence and saying, therefore that's bad for kids, that's wrong, that's silly. It's silly. It's missing the deeper point of what are the core drivers, what are the core thought processes. Is it dangerous to think in a way that you haven't thought in before? Is it dangerous to be put in a context that you haven't been put in before? Do you learn something from that you might practice, experiment with in real life? Do you understand that you're learning something like that through this process? Do you take it on board as one of your values? Or do you think that was horrible? I would never pull someone's leg off. I couldn't even get my head around that. I had to look on the internet. Or do you work it out and think, that was funny? And then, when people get in your way, when other people's feelings matter or don't in life, does that influence do you remember things and say, well, I achieved my ends. I'm not saying this is the most dangerous game in the world. I'm not saying that. In fact, I don't know if a kid thinking like this is even bad. I think being able to discuss it might allow them to understand the world a bit better. Web browser again, please. That'll do, big face. I think being able to discuss it might make the world a bit better, because they are engaged. Like even playground violence, motivations and whether people are really their friend or want something from them, whether they're prepared to throw them under the bus and to rip their leg off in order to achieve the high score. You know, maybe people should be made war aware. I don't know. I'm opening up discussion, hopefully. Because I know that I don't trust the world that much. I know that I don't trust the people that tell me things like, you know, the news media, the Boris Johnsons, the politicians. I know that I don't trust them in the same way as I don't trust the fella on the bus who's trying to sell me once. I remember this really vividly. Once I was, where was I? So I remember the car and the man so vividly. Maybe I was in my local town. I think it was Stratford upon Avon, my local town. This guy pulled up in this like white. I'm not good on cars, so I don't know the brand of the car. I think it was a Mercedes, but like it was like a classic top down, very flashy, very expensive looking car, like 2-seater. He just pulled up next to me. I think I was by the bank. I think this is how the trick goes. And he was like, "Mate, I've got this watch," and he showed me this watch in this box, and it looked very flashy. Very flashy. And he's like, "I've got this watch. I don't want it. I bought two." And he showed me the one on his arm. Like he's like, "They've sent me an extra one. I'm just trying to get rid of it before I drive off to so and so. You know, like, do you want to buy this watch? Like 50 quid to you or whatever." You know, it's like it's a blag. Obviously, it's a blag. Like if you bought it, you probably end up with a box with a brick in it, or you get the watch and it's just some crappy fake. He's hired the car for the day. He's selling like 200 of them, driving around places trying to flog them. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a blag. It happened to me once at a supermarket petrol station where someone tried to sell me some speakers. We were delivering these speakers, and no one wanted them. So, you know, we'd had to take them back to the warehouse. But if we can sell them, we can get half the money. So, do you want them? Like, no thanks. It's a box with a brick in it. But, you know, knowing who to trust and when to trust, and knowing that there are people out there that are prepared to tear your leg off in order to get their own ends, maybe that's a conversation to be had. But being the person who learns to tear the legs off, that's difficult for me. I found that really difficult. I couldn't complete the game for that reason. Not because I felt like, oh, poor, sad, or upset, but because I couldn't figure out the correct response the game was asking me for. So there's something in that. There is something in that. It's a different context, isn't it? It's a way of looking at a computer game that is on the surface very violent, but when we dig deeper, there are different layers and contexts to that violence that have different meanings. And I'm not the be all in it. I'm not saying we should ban this game. I think it's good, the game. I like the game. I think art should speak about things. Some art speaks about violence. I think that's important. I think it's better for young people to be exposed. I'm just going to turn your chat off for a second because the game. I think it's better for young people to be exposed to this game and through this prism to be able to talk about violence than to have to suffer this in the world. You know? Than to have to suffer this. So, would you want your 4-year-old child to be witnessing his father have a heated discussion, shouting at someone in the street until the person in the street stabbed them to death? Or would you rather they were playing this at home and we could talk about the violent acts together? I mean, would that scare a child? I don't know. It's just pixel art. I went on a walk the other day with my dog and there was a dead bird, and I had to say to the dog, "You leave that, don't touch that." I couldn't explain to him how the bird was killed and what happens when a bird is killed, what happens when you die. I mean, whether that concept was important at that time. Kids can understand these things. They see these things in the world. So yeah, that's the context, that's the story. Let's watch how to play it and conclude the stream with that. The true ending. So, I need to go web browser. And there's one more thing to say, which is I've been working on the stream this week. I don't know if you can see this camera here. You can see it a little bit. I don't want to move it too much because I've got it set up for something else. But, hopefully, it's all in sync. I can see already that it's not all in sync. It's slightly slower on top, isn't it? But I spent an entire day syncing up this camera, this microphone, another system. 3 things. It is close, isn't it? But the point is that yesterday when I did my trial run, it wasn't just close, it was perfect. So what's changed overnight is nothing. And I did edit. What I had to do, you'll love this. You'll think it's so funny. Oh, it took me all day because what I have to do is I have to do a little recording on the OBS, and then I have to take it into Final Cut. Then I have to detach the audio. Then I have to cue it up and look to see exactly how much has changed and how far we've changed. Then I have to change the setting. Then I record it. Then I take it back and I do it again. And I did that for this camera, this microphone, this camera, another microphone. So it's all the same. And gameplay footage. But you're going to find out now that when I turn on this YouTube, the YouTube sound and the image will be all out of sync. The gameplay for the Switch was probably all out of sync. And when I edited yesterday what we'd been achieving, what I'd been looking at, you know, the final product, my camera and my game next to each other were slightly out of sync. And I know I can fix it with just a little shuffle, but that's what I spent the whole day doing. So I don't know how it does move itself slightly out of sync, despite the fact that I put it exactly in sync. And you know, using the Nigel thought brain method, I went into Final Cut. I saw that it was out of sync. I moved one so it was in sync, and then I measured the exact amount of milliseconds. And then you go into OBS, and you're like, I wonder if I'm writing the right numbers in the right place here, because I think I'm writing the milliseconds in the right place. I think I am, but I don't know. Seems to not be, you know, I was doing little nudge, little nudge, little nudge, little nudge, little nudge. Got it, happy. Leave it there, don't mess with it. And now today, slightly out of sync. How can it be? I mean, it's close, but it's not exact. And I am shocked by that, because I did, like I said, spend so long making it exact. What can have changed? The only thing I can think of is that speed dial webcam is so cheap and cheerful that maybe it doesn't run at the same frame rate, refresh rate. You know, maybe there's those sort of things to consider. And, you know, maybe that's it. But we don't need to see it anymore. I'll go on with that tonight and tomorrow. I'm behind with the editing as well for that reason. We don't need to see it anymore. Let's get rid of it. We're going to watch this, and it's going to be out of sync as well. But at least I can learn what's going on in the edit afterwards. So what we want to know is the true endings. Should we say to the girls, look, this is all the endings walked through. So we'll do this one. 15 minutes. Caution. Look, they've done caution. When you turn the game on, it does caution. There's not many games that do this caution. Is there? There's not many. They do maybe some disclaimers, some of them, but so much work for the cat cam. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's going to be more than cat cam, though. It's going to be useful to be able to help us talk to more than one person at the same time on camera. Look, anyway, this content includes gore and grotesque situations. I mean, lots of games include that. Grand Theft Auto all the time. Even, you know, back in the day, Street Fighter, not that gory or grotesque. Mortal Kombat was more that way, but they did maybe a caution sells the game. I don't know, but we're putting them on the YouTube things now. It's only pixel art, mate. It's only pixel art.
Is she still okay? Oh!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Pretty hard.
Yep.
We're going to see all the deaths. Caution. And then show you all the deaths. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to skip through some of this because, yeah, we rescued her. We can do that. We did her. We got this. You know, I showed you this, didn't I? The ice.
Almost.
Got you with your leg. Look, that was the leg. Hang on, how'd you get Jay Blair? I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, this game is interesting.
Yeah.
Almost.
Where did you get Jay Blair from?
Yeah, this
No need to explain, but if you don't help her, she'll fall down. Oh, you've got your ladder down there. I haven't got my ladder down yet. It's getting a bit confusing because how did you get your ladder down already? I think they've edited that in the wrong place, to be honest. And that should have come later. Tennis ball this. From the ice room. Tanaka.
This the exact same thing.
He's pull the leg, do the leg, yeah.
She says it. Oh.
Oh, sorry.
This one?
No, you don't.
No.
Oh, okay.
Just
Got your leg meat,
you know,
yeah.
Like you need a space of item.
You don't need that
Just
much
in
space.
case.
Okay.
Okay, so go down.
Keep going down.
Open it.
Open. Get it. Go up.
And this is what I tried to do,
Go
but for some reason I couldn't.
Back
So you can open that now, look.
to help
And then in there, they picked up a bolt cutter.
her.
It's okay.
So there's 2 sets of bolt cutters, you
Your
see.
leg, cut it loose. Save
And
her.
by the time they get back,
Now put the board.
Yep. Anymore. And
Okay. Now.
and the reason they had that board is because they needed to close that door so that zombie doesn't get out again, I assume. And this is Omio, who's got the eyes that we were looking for to poke her head through the...
Now.
See, look, they
we
put the board
can-
back there. I don't know how they've achieved that. So let's just scan back to... Just want to make sure I'm doing things right or wrong. How have they got... Get the rotten board and use the screw one more time. Switch... Oh, I see. Look, they've done Okay. You have to use the board. Also, you can't break it because you need it for some endings. So you've got to get the screw... I get it. What they've done there that's different to the way I did it is they've used the rotten board, but instead of then trying to unscrew all 4 things and come back down, they've swapped... Sorry, they've used the solid board first, unscrewed a couple of things, swapped for the rotten board, unscrewed one more, and come back, because I unscrewed all the things at the same time, then got my key there. That's all time, each movement, each screw. So you use both boards. So I would have figured that out eventually if I'd realised I needed the board because the zombie was going to... Anyway, look. That's interesting. And then these are the bolt cutters. So there's the 2
Your leg,
sets.
cut it loose.
Rescued her.
Now.
And
Okay. Now we can.
Also, it's interesting. You can see this is a phone game originally, can't you? I've been playing it on the Nintendo Switch and I paid for it. But it's a phone game originally.
I'm sorry to Heart.
Yeah, we have to take her eye.
Going to take her eye. Again, this is something I never would have figured out.
Oh my.
Even though... Okay, so she's down here in the basement. Even though there's that obvious eye gouger torture device. And even though I need to have her looking through the thing to move the block, I'd have tried to rescue her and then have her look through the thing to move the block. That's what I would have done. That person said sorry.
God.
Oh,
The eye is watching you.
Yep.
oh. But you know, that can achieve what they need it to
Made
achieve.
a mistake? No?
Nope.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Good.
I wouldn't have done that, so I'd have never got there. Again, it's using the violence. I know. In fact, this time it was a much more... I mean, there's the cartoon pulling the leg off, the thing stretching, you see it off camera. But this time you take the utensil and you poke it. You don't physically, you tell the game and it does it. But it's a lot more visceral, raw, real and direct this time. And it's a choice. At this point, if you've already pulled off a leg, it's a choice maybe you much more willing to take. But again, is it comedic? Is it okay that it's not comedic? Is it dangerous? Certainly edgy, is it? It's certainly edgy. It's certainly a bit more dark and edgy than maybe even though it's little girls and it's pixel art, maybe it is a bit more grown up because of the concepts that are behind it. Just questions at the moment, just questions.
Okay.
If you've got any answers, pop them in the comments.
Set her free.
お願い。
Ending, revenge, condition. You only help these two people.
Okay.
See, it only took a few minutes, didn't it? I don't know what.
Now,
What a
like,
weird ending.
this is the ending D, I guess.
Girl.
Yeah.
Poor girl.
Yeah.
She thought she was safe.
Oh.
The music.
Mm-hmm. This is like ending T.
Yeah.
The left is ending E.
Who could it be that pushed it off? I wonder.
Mm-hmm. Who did it? It's so cool.
Dun dun. She's so strong.
The introduction of the death metal or metal music at the end is interesting because it obviously is now more clearly pointed in a certain direction. You see it's Japanese, you've got the metal music, you've got like baby metal, the comedic, almost comedic. Like, what am I trying to say? I'm not the best person to represent this. I know people who are really into this style of fashion as well, I guess. This juxtaposition between 80s heavy metal, black leather, devil, 80s Black Sabbath, 90s metal, Japan, kawaii. Is kawaii the right word? You know, when it's cutesy Japan, and then you've got this juxtaposition of a sort of feminist attitude of aggression, violence, more black, dark red colour palette. Baby metal are born of this. I love baby metal in there. Why don't we just have a little look at some baby metal because it makes me happy. Baby metal. This is one of my favourites. You'll get us done on the old copyright, but what do you care? You can just silence it for the YouTube.
Harmonic.
Shut up, adverts. Just silence it for the YouTube. I shouldn't have played so much. That will ruin the stream. But that actually makes me really emotional, that song. The chorus is about fighting. And see, I nearly broke that. The chorus is about fighting through things. So it's a beautiful song, really. Whatever, we could go deep about feminism and men writing songs and being the people who play them and these women being the people who perform them and who's making money and who's driving what train. But it's a much more modern image, isn't it, for young women to see, created by the young women and their like literally, fight out, like a fight out of pink kitsch. Yeah, there's depth there. We're not supposed to be talking about Japanese kawaii feminist metal, really, but we have ended up talking about it. So that's baby metal, but you can see what I'm talking about there, can't you? You can see why I'm talking about it, because what we've been doing today is on that edge. Where's my Nintendo Switch? I was on the Nintendo Switch. I was on the web browser, and I was looking at a video of.
So this is ending D.
So it's got that edge to it, hasn't it? Look, she's wearing a red dress. She's got long dark hair. She's the only one left. She's actually murdered the final other survivor. You don't get that ending. You don't even get that music. The music's not in the game. You don't get that ending unless you do ending D or E or whatever it was. There are lots of endings. This one, they get saved. Someone gets splatted by the zombie. Like a helicopter comes down. There's a way to achieve it where you get the helicopter to get down. You have to go to the basement and get a dress for one of them. And like a ghost stays there. Look, she's on her own, eye poked out at the end, and she like lives there That's the zombie doing some knitting, is it? I don't know. Like, there's some weird endings. And what I find so interesting, I haven't found all the endings. I'm not going to watch their entire video online. That's up to you if you want to watch all the endings. I'm not going to spoil them all for you. If you want to get this Yabatanien phone game, Switch game, and play it, I'm not going to show you all the endings. I've already spoiled it by showing you how to do the game. But if you want to do those endings, you know, is it created by these girls? Actually, there's a good question. There's a really good question that I cannot necessarily answer off the top of my head. So we'll find, that one's coming up in just a minute. I'm going to find out who's created it, because you've got these written by, and I don't know whether those are female or males. Takeshi might be a male voice, might be a male name, Takeshi, but I don't know. But certainly the what I was going to say about these endings is that I find it so interesting that they put all the effort and the baby metal. I believe baby metal would be those girls would be listed as songwriters, but obviously they don't write the drum part, and they don't write the guitar part, and they don't write the I bet even some of them aren't, I bet some of the songs aren't even written by aren't even listed as songwriters. I bet they're just, they turn up at rehearsal, this is the new album. I'm not expert, I can't tell you the facts, can I? But you can see what it is. It's a pop product, so it's very unlikely that they will be required to come up with albums and albums worth of material on their own, and even be in the rehearsal room with the band, who are probably, the band will wear costumes and stuff. It's probably because they're just a group of, what do they call them, session musicians who have been put into a group. And if you want to swap out the drummer, it helps if he's wearing a mask, because you can just swap him with anyone. But that's my opinion. I love baby metal. I think they're really good. I think when, in the same ballpark as an AKB48, in the same ballpark as this.
Anything you wanted, I got it. Watch me pull it out of my pocket.
Not this. This is an advert. But even the advert looks, in this, you'll see what I mean. The advert is just like a copy of a pop product as well, isn't it? Like, this is the pop product. So you've got this same ballpark that they're in, and they could be, what's the word, objectified or used in a different way. So maybe it is all the same. I don't know. Maybe it is all the same. But I feel baby metal has a lot more power to it. And if you, this is what baby metal is juxtaposed against, isn't it? So, but of course it's the same. It's Japanese youth that are becoming these idols. So anyway, we're not doing a stream about baby metal. Feels overly processed, not a genuine emotion from a writer. I don't know. It's difficult because it's Japanese as well. So when you read the lyrics and then listen to it, trying to understand what they meant, it's a bit better in my opinion. But the first time I listened to it, I didn't feel as attached to it as after I read all the lyrics and translated them. But that's, by the by, it's art, it's baby metal, what the hell. We're not talking deeply anymore. We can in the future, but not right now. We were just talking about violence. I wanted to wrap it up about the violence in the game. The thing that I found so remarkable was that you're not going to see these endings. I'm not going to spoil them for you, because I think they didn't want to spoil them for you. They made them complex to achieve. It gives the game a lot of replayability because it's a puzzle. Now you know that there are different endings. You've got to work it out. Which ones do you leave alive? Which ones do you not? What happens if you do this? What happens if you do that? That's an extra end game for the game. So I think that's really good in the game. So, in just terms of rating a game and not spoiling it for you, I'm not spoiling that bit. But isn't it amazing that the creators of the game put that in, that there's different endings, and something so cool as that thing where she pushes the thing and it's like a big thing, and probably 90% of the people who ever play the game won't see it. Probably 90% of the people who play the game won't see it. I would never have seen it. I'm not even going to get to play all the unique endings because I wouldn't have the brain to work it out. If that's the way it's going to go, I'm going to have to just watch them and move on with my life. But That's not even a point about violence. That's a point about the game. But I've got one of these in here today. You'll love this. Got one of these in here because yesterday I spilled an entire cup of tea. Entire cup. Real bad day. Trying to work out all the settings. Hours and hours trying to work out all the settings. Shifting and moving, edit, moving. Oh, chopping out. Oh, the tea. It's just what I wanted. It wasn't that bad. It was all right. It was a waste, yeah. I've got a cut. It's a new carpet in here. I'm not supposed to be spending my day cleaning up new carpets. I'm supposed to be spending my day editing. And I wasn't even doing that because I was trying to set up the stream functions. Anyway, we'll see in the edit if this one has worked in sync or not, won't we? Probably not because it hasn't got anything for me to sync to in there. What I need is some kind of sync clock. I just want like a metronome ticking so that I can watch it on the screen and see if it's fitting into sound. Like, I'm surprised that doesn't come up. Maybe I should make my own video. You know, I just want to see a clock on screen that I can sync with, like going tick, 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 or beep, 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 beep. We'll use these metronomes and it'll be awful. How am I going to sync with that? Actually, if they're all going to end up in sync, that's going to be amazing. But surely they aren't supposed to, because aren't they supposed to maintain the same rhythm? I suppose you can maintain the same rhythm.
Hell yes.
Thanks for the
pressure
tissues.
off me.
Thanks for the tippies. Maybe toss the tea and get a proper. Thank you for the coffee. Thank you. I'm only allowed to drink coffee before like maybe 12, 1 o'clock. Otherwise, I stay up too late. But look at that, it went in sync. That it won't help me though. I need something that I can sync to, like somebody talking or doing something that I can say, like, you know, it's out by this much, and then I can move the audio and put it in. So, thanks very much for your YouTube sync. Oh, I can do it for the baby metal. That'll work, won't it? That would. Don't need that anymore. Fine. You can see what I've been searching for there. Look. Norm MacDonald, Lex Fridman, Boxing Social, Wings of Redemption. I didn't search for Wings of Redemption. I just watched one of his videos. That's weird. Baby Mozart. I've not searched for that. Never. It's just come up. That's weird. Fighting Trolls. Again, I've not searched for that. It's just come up. I search for Zelda music a lot. Down the rabbit hole, I have searched for, but not what it came up with. I didn't want what it came up with. I wanted something different. Blade and Sword. I've searched for that. Searched for that. But no, I haven't actually, have I? No, I haven't. I've been looking at videos with that in, but I haven't searched it. Reports. Oh, they're predictions. They're predictions. Okay, fair enough. Interesting. Hi. Oh, you're gonna. This is gonna be awful for you now. You're gonna say hello, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm going. Hi, you. I'm going. Now that you're here. Oh, someone's brought the standard right down. But actually, I was always going to be going because I've been doing a little bit of a shorter stream today. What I really can't do to myself is load up loads more edit. I can't do loads more edit. I haven't finished editing Mental Health Monday, the Yabatanien from last week, the one we've got today. I want to do an episode on Yabatanien and violence, so that's got to be done for ganjikidd Art Chat. And once I've done that, then I can start doing more streams, because once I've done a stream, it's on the editing table. So now I've got this as well now today, and I haven't even, spontaneous synchronization is not even what I'm supposed to be looking at. I just wanted some sort of, like, can we have playing the triangle maybe? The triangle, that might work for me. It didn't think I was going to search for that, did it? This will do, just the most popular playing the triangle video ever.
To play the triangle, you're going to place the triangle in a triangle holder or
right
loop like this.
Okay, so there's square one. You didn't know that, did you? You were trying to play triangles without the triangle holder or loop. That's where you're going wrong. When you were at school, there was just a bit of string tied around it, but a professional triangle holder or loop, I'd say that's where you're going wrong. Oh, you did know. Because if you didn't, you'd just be tung, wouldn't it? And it doesn't do anything.
I like to have the closed end of the triangle.
I remember once. What have I done? All about triangle techniques. Hang on, wait. Go back. I just want the triangle.
Play the triangle.
Yeah, no, wait. We'll get on to that in a minute. What I used to like when I was a kid, right? So got a big face. We went to this thing. We did music at school. I liked music at school, but I wasn't encouraged. I did record and I just pretended I didn't know how to do it, and I just pretended. I wasn't encouraged. We did this. I wasn't the best singer. I sang loud because I thought loud was the aim. I thought the aim was loud. I wasn't taught about the different notes and how to pitch, and now I understand. I was like, oh, what an annoying little kid. Like 8 years old, 5 years old, between those ages, when I was little at primary school, the teacher would play the piano. We'd all have our little books, and we'd all be singing. I thought the aim was to be the loudest you could sing. Just thought that was the aim. I didn't know you were supposed to pitch the notes. So I used to get, pushed to the back, and maybe for the school performance you can be a sheep, and that sort of business. When we did music lessons, some of my other peers, they were getting lessons. They were being taught to play the recorder. They were being taught to play the violin. So when we did music lessons, they know what the music is, and I had the recorder, and everyone else was blowing the recorder in the recorder class. It's loud, and I thought this is not the one to be the loudest because I don't know how to do it. So what I'll do is I'll just keep quiet. I won't blow it, and I'll just do my fingers, and then that way everyone will think I'm playing the recorder. I'll just be in recorder class, but I won't have to learn it because I don't know how to. So I was getting away with that for a few weeks until the teacher made us do it one by one, and then it came. I was like, this is going to go really badly. When it gets to me, I'm not going to know how to do it because I don't know how to do it. So when everyone's playing, I can just do that and no one can tell. But when it's my turn, I had to just blow it and hope. That thing where you blow it and you hope. Like there's a 1 in 100,000 chance that. I mean, we've not been learning that many notes. A, B, C, D, didn't we know? I don't know. So there's only 3. So it's like there's some chance I could blow them all in the right order. I am playing all the right notes, just not necessarily in the right order. There was a chance, but no, of course. And then you're demoted from recorder class. Maybe it's best that you don't come to recorder class anymore. And I was like, but how am I going to learn? Well, you've been here for 6 weeks and you haven't picked anything up. And so, yeah, demoted from recorder class, singing as loud as I could in the singing lessons. We were all singing together. It was school, primary school, singing songs together. You can see where this is going. When it came to the handing out of the instruments, there were kids in the class that brought their own violin. Kids in the class that brought their own violin. I ended up on triangle more often than not. The one I used to get that I really didn't like. Because you can bang a triangle, even though it's just one note. It's atonal. It's boring, isn't it? Why didn't they make triangles with different shapes so you could ding, 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 ding? You'd have some fun, like a xylophone, not just a solitary triangle. Anyway, the one they used to give me was the it's got some beads around it. Do you know what I mean? It's got some beads around it. I wonder if Google will help me out. Beads. Now, there are, instrument percussion. Beads, chuku 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 chuku, instrument percussion. Images. Yes. See, it knew exactly what I was talking about. You can buy it from Amazon. I don't want to buy it. Go away. I'm not buying it. It comes up with the shopping first, doesn't it? I wanted a picture. It comes up with the shopping first. It's trying to push you into buying things. There's no news about beads, chuku chuku, instrument percussion. There's no news. No one's talking about that in the news. Why would you want to do it in a stream? It's not even relevant to anyone. Look, where's it gone? Oh, you can only look at the picture if you're buying it. Okay, anyway. It's gone. There it is. That's the thing. It's got... Okay, we'll go to DJM Music and look at it. Fine. It's got beads on it. Where's it gone? There. They used to hand that to me. What's it called there? Go on, I don't want to chat with you. Go away. Log in Messenger. I'm not logging in. Cabasa. What is it? Mexican. Cabasa. they give us that, and what are you rubbish? More rubbish. They didn't teach software. I don't know even what that is. Capacity, like the that's so rubbish, isn't it? It's so rubbish. They used to hand that to me, and I used to think, not this again. No, you can't do anything with that. You can't even. It's it's atonal. So maybe they didn't think I was much of a musician, but now it turns out I play the guitar. I'm learning to try and at least sing so it's not horrible. I've written songs. I love music. Why did they give me that? So we did this thing where we went to. It was like a schools in the area all got together. Now, for weeks and weeks, we've been learning these songs. And these were a bit different. They weren't the normal God songs, because I went to one of those primary schools where they talked about God every other day. Church of England primary school I went to. So they taught us about the old God and how to stop being naughty, because it wasn't like nuns. It wasn't nuns, but, our headmaster was into the God and used to play the piano and he'd sing, I love you, Jesus. Jesus, you are so good. Well, we should come around my house and we can have chocolate pudding. And so we used to sing songs for Jesus, but these weren't Jesus songs. They were giving us these different songs. They were all about Christopher Columbus, and he's bad now, isn't he, when you think about it on reflection. The Sargasso Sea, I remember the songs. One about the captain's chest. Don't drop it. Look out. Be careful where you put it. Just put it over here. And we all learned these songs in our little schools, and then we came together. I didn't know this was going to happen. We came together as a big group, and we all sang the songs together. And I was like, wow, now they sound amazing. Because, that school's been learning it, and these been, and we all know the words, and they know it, and I know it. Oh, hey, it sounds big. Yeah, way. They gave me this. We all had to take an instrument. They gave me this. So I'm like, look, I'm at this point, I'm nearly furious. I enjoy the singing. I enjoy the songs. Sing as loud as you can. We've been at a group school meetup. There's lots of other schools. They've all got instruments and things. Everyone's got a good one. It's not just me. Now it's me and my peer group, but there's a wider context. Now I can see loads of drums, loads of whistles and bells. Everyone's got a good one. I got this. I don't see many of them around. They should let me choose. Well, they did let me choose, but they gave me the clever choice. I'll do your questions in the answer. They gave me one of those Hobson's choices. One of those Henry Hobson's choices. They gave me a choice between that and like the tambourine, or that and the triangle. It was a limited choice where you feel like this is how you trick children. This is the trick. They teach you how to trick children, how to trick them. Do you want a potato or an apple? Well, they choose the apple. Oh, a nice apple. Oh, that's nice. Well, you had a choice. Didn't have a Mars bar as the choice. Didn't have a chocolate bar as a choice. So you've made a choice, so you can't say no. Like, do you want to go to bed at 8 o'clock or at 8:30? It's your choice. Oh, 8:30. Oh, you've chosen. Don't say it's not your choice now. I don't want to go to bed at 8:30. I want to go to bed at 9. Oh, and you chose 8:30. Oh, didn't realise it was like a bit of a con job. Anyway, they gave me this. This person doesn't have talent? Yeah, I know. Yeah, but in all fairness as well, though. In all fairness, I was confused about the purpose of the music. I did think that you should sing as loud as you can. If they'd have given me individual lessons and taught me about where the notes were and what the point was, I'd have had a different opinion. I used to go to football matches as a little kid. Everyone sang as loud as they can. Anyway, I'm in there. I've got this. All the different schools. It's a big thing. We're all singing our songs. It's a big thing. You have to, with your buddy, and your teachers looking after you, and you off the minibus and onto the thing. It's a big thing. And I realised that now's my chance. What I did was, because I know about this, because I've been playing with these before, remember? I'd been given this a few times at school. I unscrewed the bottom of the thing, all right, that handle. I unscrewed that handle, took that off. Everyone's singing, and then they're doing some talking, and then it's like, well done to this school, and now we all sing this song. So they're all busy, and our teachers are all like, on the edge, because they've got to look after all these kids. And I've unscrewed this, I've unscrewed that, and I've pulled the thing apart really carefully like that. And all those beads around it like that, I just pulled it like that, and they've all gone poosh. They were little, they didn't all fall apart individually, but each one of those circles is an individual, circle of beads. And so they all just fell off and went everywhere. And the teachers were like, oh no. And all the kids, because it's loads of kids, remember? And these have all gone under their chairs, so they're all picking them up. And no, don't give them back. I didn't. No. Never got given that again, did I? Never gave me that again, did they? during the quiet bit as well, not during the singing, during the quiet. I unscrewed it during the singing, but in the quiet bit where the teacher was doing the talking and telling us about Columbus, just didn't get that anymore, did I? No more cassava for me. No more cassava for me. So it was just the triangle. Now, actually, these days as an adult, I could enjoy a triangle. I can enjoy a cowbell even more. But imagine you took a triangle to a rave with you in your little pocket.
You're going to place the triangle in a triangle holder
Just my
or
left
loop
ear.
like
Is that
this.
me or is that everyone?
I like to have the closed end of the triangle towards away from me so I can play in that area. We're going to play.
Sorry, mate, but come on. I like to have the closed area of the triangle pointing away from me so I can play in this area. There's not that's getting a bit. Let's not. This is someone who internalized the concept. Like they were like, oh, instead of like me, they were like, I lashed out at the world. You can have my beads. I'm not doing this. No, this person was like, right, if they're going to force me to be the triangle player, and I'm going to turn it back on you. I'm going to be the best damn triangle player the world has ever seen. I'm going to be the no one's going to play triangle like me. I'm going to become the Salvador Dali of triangle. I'm going to be the. They'll remove triangles from children's hands in schools and say, kid, you can't do it like Peripol. Don't even try. I'll scar children with my triangle abilities. I'm going to get myself a really jazzy shirt and do a video about it on the internet. No, I won't do my top button. I'll have that right done up.
Here.
But it's a short sleeve shirt.
But there's
I'm not going to take the mick out of what people look like. I'm not taking the mick out of his face or his head or his hands. But he's chosen that shirt. He's chosen it. So that's a choice. And then not only that, he's chosen to button up the top button right to the top. But it's a short sleeve shirt. So what is it? Are you cold? Do you want, or is it extra formality? Is it trying to be formal? Because if you're trying to be formal, you're missing the tie, the collar, the simple patterning of the shirt, not the complex patterning, simple patterning for formality. And it's short sleeves, short, underbutton. It's up to you. It's up to you. Fashion is a choice. So is the triangle, mate.
That area. We're going to play here.
Oh, he's nearly crying. I can nearly see the tears. Look, he can't look you in the eye. He can't look into the camera when he says that. We're going to be playing this area. Oh, I used to have a drum.
But there's a few places you can strike the triangle.
There's a few places you can strike it. You can strike it indoors or outdoors. You can strike it. No, honestly though, you can strike it on the middle of the straight bit, or in the corner. I mean, that's it, isn't it? I mean, the exterior of the corner, the exterior of the straight bit, not the gap, because it's a hole, so you can't strike it there. By nature of it not being there, it's the gap. So that's the limit. I expect you're going to get onto different kinds of beta, aren't you? A very light or a very dense beta. But other than that, I mean, what you're going to do is strike it closer and further from the corner to vary the timbre.
One is you can play individual notes by striking the
individual notes. I think you mean note, mate, don't you? Note. The triangle doesn't have different notes.
Triangle with a metal beater near
metal beater now.
Near the
not any old
closed
beater.
corner, or the corner that's away from.
Okay, near the closed corner. This is his favourite. This is the one he's set up to play like. That's why he holds the triangle in this fashion. He won't have it spinning around like all of us at school, spinning around. No. He's going to keep it situated in exactly the right position.
Yeah.
Before we hear him beat... Did you like it when I paused it then? Before we hear him play the triangle, wait. That's pure. I'm just building it up now, aren't I? That's pure intense. Maybe he's got 70s chest hair. He could wax it. He could do... Well, I mean, there's something about I don't mind if he wants to cover up. That's fine. But I would not pair it with the exposed arms. I'd feel like buttoned up and covered up would mean like a total feel, but just to be tight around the neck and then free flow arms, hot day, but I want my button right up to the top. I just don't. It's like some sort of. It's the same thing as the baby metal contrast, isn't it? Between like one thing and another. It's a juxtaposition of two things that are. I don't understand it. Is it? Oh. Is it warm or is it cool? Is it warm or is it cool? I don't know. Not by the way you're dressed. Shouldn't have got off key there because now I'm into the full triangle.
Like that.
Like that.
You can also strike the triangle back and forth at the top to get a roll.
A roll? What do you mean a roll? You mean just repeated striking? That's just... You mean like a bell? That's the same as the 1, but you're just doing it over and over. Isn't it? That's the same as 1, but just multiples of the same 1.
You can also do a roll.
He didn't... He's showing off now. He didn't mention that... I haven't got anything to hold up like a triangle, have I? I'll tell you what I'll do. You'll love this. This is terrible for the environment, but just handy for me, is I've got a small ripped piece of paper. So that's my triangle. It is shaped like a triangle. And this is my beater. Mine's a stealth triangle. It still makes a noise. So you can still call that an instrument. It's like the flapping of a bird's wing. Now do you want to hear me do a roll? I don't have proper... That's my beater. It's just a lighter. If you don't need a beater, like... He's sold a beater. If you want to buy some experimental beaters, I've got a jar of screws in the back. In the toolbox. Mum puts the screws in a glass jar and it does my head in. I've broken a glass jar before in the toolbox. I mean, who would want a glass jar of screws in a toolbox? The tools are going to smash the glass. They have done before. It doesn't bother us. You still put some in a glass jar. I'm not bothered because I'm never going to collect up the old screws and keep them. I just throw them in the bin. But don't tell her because she likes to keep them in a jar. Look. That sounds just like a flapping of a bird's wing. Worst case scenario, if you do need some screws, you can just order them on Amazon these days. Worst case. You know, it's not... Oh, there goes the battery. Oh, no. There goes the battery. I'll try and change it. Because we've got to finish this triangle business. Changing the battery. You can't see me, but I can fill you in on the details. I've now put the old battery out the camera and the new one in it. I'm just going to leave it there to do its thing. And over here, I'm coming back, I'm plugging the battery into the charger, so that's charging up. And now what should happen is the image should magically fix itself. I don't do anything, it magically fixes itself. Come on, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It didn't magically fix itself. Right, I'm going to turn the camera off and on. And that is going to magically fix it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, what? What? What do you mean? Yes, there you go. You see, just a little bit late, But, okay, we're back on with the triangle, how to play the triangle. This is the most popular triangle video on YouTube, or the top of the suggestions. Only 300,000 views. You'd think how to play the triangle would get 1 million views. 2013 it's been around since. There's not even 1 million people in this world who want to find out about how... Or, I suppose if you've got a triangle, you get your first triangle, it arrives in the post. Maybe you just crack at it. Maybe you just go for it. Maybe you don't need an instructional video. But the people at Peripole, this fella, peripole.com, Peripole? What kind of word is that? Peripole. Hang on. Googling that. Peripole. It's a company founded by music educators to serve the needs of music educators and the music education community. So it's just a word that they made up then, because it don't come up on dictionary. Peripole, like peri peri chicken and pole. There you go. There's their website. They've got one of these old websites like the internet used to be. Nice pictures, square pictures. It's a company founded by music. Yeah, we know that. You can browse products. Oh, it's like a shop. It's like Amazon. But a little more, a little less user-friendly. No, these are drums. Get all the drums, mate. All the drums. I imagine like if you run a music, like if you're doing, I had a set of bongos like that. I imagine if you do a music class, you probably go to Peripol. Anyway, look. This guy's from Peripol and he's going to teach you how to play. Look.
At the closed end. In the bottom.
He didn't show us all these different beaters, did he? He didn't show us that. He just skipped over that.
And then you can mute the triangle with your palm.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. He was doing that advanced technique and he was not mentioned, but now he's mentioned it, so he's reminded me. Muting it.
And fingers. While you play at the closed end.
Hello. Now you're getting something out of it.
You can.
That's like the James Brown of. You can see as well. You can see he knows he's not got the gall to look at the camera, but you can see in his face he knows he's feeling chuffed by that. He was like, up to this point, they're making a piss out of me. They're having a laugh about me playing this triangle. But I'm going to show them. Again, it's this attitude, isn't it? It's this attitude. I'm going to show them. They might think I'm having a joke doing a 2 minutes on how to play the triangle, but I'm going to show them. And then he bashes out a rhythm like that. All of a sudden, the triangle explodes into colour and life. We thought the mute was just to stop it so you can't hear it anymore. So it's not ringing all over the place. But
and then you can mute the triangle.
The mute becomes its second form. It's like evolved form. So you got the ability to ping and ring, and you got the ability to bell and ring. But the muting it, now you've got two things. Now you've got some friction. You've got some juxtaposition. All this stuff that we've been talking about today: baby metal, Yabatanien, pixel art, violence. Now you've got this is a violent act. It's beating a triangle. Now you've got some. Now you've got some light and shade, haven't you? Now you've got some light and shade to work with. Recorders PTSD, yeah. A lot of those things on that website did actually make me think of school. The Boom Chico. Oh, this guy is. It's no surprise now to me that it's this fella playing the triangle. Could have got anyone from their website to knock out a triangle video, but no. No. This is the Tiger Woods of triangle, and not because he's crashed his car.
With your palm and fingers. While you play at the closed end.
Yeah, boy. I just want to. You know what I want to do? I might have to get that triangle loop and use it as our reward sound for the tippies.
While you play at the closed end. You can also try playing the triangle with your index finger.
What?
Resting on your index finger.
What?
And then using your fingers.
Philistine.
To mute the triangle this way.
Freestyle.
Okay. And this technique.
Hello, Snippy Chippies. The alert box widget went off. Where's my alert box widget? It literally went off in my desktop. Where's my overlays? Why have I not got it going off here? Overlays. I should have overlays, shouldn't I? Big face. Hang on. Switch. Browsing. Where's my overlays? I called them. I named them. S-Labs. Oh, it's because I changed the names. S-Lab Alert. Yeah, S-Labs Alert. They're there. S-Labs Alert. S-Labs Alert. Where's that? Did it come up on the screen? I'll move it around. Put it over there. I definitely, it should come up on the screen. Thank you for the tippies. Thank you. I don't know why the Streamlabs, because we got it working before, didn't we? I don't know why. I've got it on my, I saw it happen on the desktop because I've got this other window open called Alert Box Widget. And that window exists on the screen. You just can't see it because it's got a blanked out background. So it should happen, but I don't know. Thank you for the tippies. This guy is going off the reservation now. He's just. There are people in traditional triangle players that are in uproar, even at just seeing him hold it like that. He took the holder and he put it in his. They're angry now. This is not how triangle should be played. They're dividing into two core groups in the triangle playing community of holder purists and freestyle hand grabbers. Never do they see eye to eye. Never shall the two meet on equal playing field again. And look at his face. Before, when he showed you this, this tippy tapping rhythm, you know he's feeling chuffed with himself. He's trying. Look there. He's got the raver face. Yeah, boy. You pull that face, don't you, when you're really enjoying that music? Yeah, boy. Got that face. He knows what he's doing. And he equally knows that the minute he starts grappling, look, he's raised eyebrows. He knows he's offending some people here, but he don't give a damn. He's the Johnny Rotten. He's the Sid Vicious. His triangle is perfectly tuned. Street cred. He's the Johnny Rotten. He's the punk of the triangle. He don't care. He'll touch the triangle with his bare hands. Oh yeah, and he'll mute it.
Resting on your index finger, and then using your fingers to mute the triangle this way.
Actually, I like that better. And he's doing the same rhythm. Now, I think he should have done a different rhythm because he's pleased with himself by all means. He's pleased with himself. He knows this is edgy though. So you can see he's happy now, but he's not the same sort of, ooh, yeah, I'm brilliant, yeah, sexy, yeah, I love the music. He's like, this is good, but it's going to cause some shit. He knows. But why not do a different rhythm? Why not show off some of your other skills? Because if you get people thinking that the mute rhythm is just the mute rhythm, maybe they don't realise you can do more. Let's explore this triangle. If you're going to go that freeform, if you're going to start touching the bugger, hope you've got a cloth to clean it off with afterwards. If you're going to start touching the bugger, you might as well go freeform. Go all the way, mate. Don't get stuck in the rhythm rut.
And this technique we usually employ with the larger triangles.
Oh, large. Oh. Now, who's got the biggest triangle now? It's not all about the size of the triangle, mate. Do you think they've got some great big ones, like a gong? Like a really big, when they have, because they do that with drums, don't they? You have your normal drum. Whoever made the drums, they were like, I've got my normal drum. Why not have a slightly bigger one over there? A couple that give you a different tone. Dung, dung, dung. Hang on. What if you have a really big one? Yeah, I like that. How are you going to play that? Oh, you can't. I have to kick it. Put it down there and I'll kick it. We'll make you a pedal. That'll work. We'll engineer you a pedal. I'm happy kicking it. Get out of my way. Right, so you do that with the drums, big drums. You don't do it with guitars, do you? You don't do it with guitars. You don't say like, oh, I like playing this guitar. Let's make it bigger. Let's make it really big. You do it. They make them little. They do. With the instruments, they'll make them little. They'll shrink them down. Quite happy to shrink. You're playing a violin and you're going to get started. It's a bit big for you. We'll shrink you one down. We'll give you a little one. Viola. Give it a little name of its own, mate. Viola. But with a percussion instrument, you get your regular size that you're happy with, that you can see, that you can hold, that you can handle. That's normal. We're happy with that. Then you start going bigger, and there's no limit. They'll just go as big as a great big drum. Why don't you make a drum as big as a house? They'll say. With the triangle, you got a little cymbal. You got a on your. Why don't you make a really big cymbal? Why don't you make a really big gong? Bong. I bet there's a big triangle out there. There's got to be, hasn't there? There's got to be a really large triangle out there. Really large. I've got to go in a minute. And I've veered way off track. World's... We're Ecosia this time. Largest triangle musical... So I don't just want any old triangle. I want a musical triangle. And I haven't spelled it properly, but the internet knows what you want, doesn't it? Look, you don't have to spell these days. The internet knows. World's largest triangle musical instrument. And can we have a look at it? Well, it just looks like a normal sized triangle because there's nothing for context. Doesn't it? Look, oh, hello. Look at that. Oompa, oompa, oompa. Oompa, 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 pa. Oompa, oompa. That's a good one, isn't it? Can have fun playing that. You have to have a stand for the bugger. When you choose your musical instrument, when you're young, when you're little, when you choose your musical instrument, choose something that's easy to carry. That's my tip. My friend had a flute, and I used to think, well, it's a bit like, a bit fey, isn't it? Bit airy fairy, flautist, oh, the little flute, but he had more fun than the fella with the double bass. Even though my friend with the double bass, I thought double bass, cool, jam in, boom, 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 boom. But when they carried the instruments home from school, the one with the flute didn't care; he just put it in his bag. The one with the double bass had to chuff that chuffing great big, not like a cool gangster where it could have a gun in a violin case. No, not like a chuffing. Oh, must have a chuffing air support system in the back of that. That guy's got to carry that chuff around. It's no fun. It's no fun. Might be fun playing it, but it's no fun. It's no fun, is it? You want the world's largest triangle. Look, there's a giant drum. Where's the giant drum gone? I clicked on it and it's gone. This is for another time. Look, how are you ever going to play that anyway? You're never going to even play that. It's stupid. It's useless. I bet you put it outside the shop to attract the customers. It's useless. You're never going to be able to play that. It's only little on my screen because I'm big face, but if you go with web browser, now you can see how big it is. Giant, massive. Stupid. No one's ever going to be able to play that, except for maybe big people like Eddie Hall. You've encouraged me to play the trombone. I wouldn't have been able to carry the bugger. I wouldn't have been able to carry it. In secondary school, when I was amongst all the elites, the educated elites, I didn't go to a paid posh school. I went to a grammar school where you have to pass an exam. So there was still paid posh system because they paid for their kids to get tutored to get them into the good school. But in theory, it was egalitarian, that you can come from a working class background, be intelligent, pass the exam and get in. And the idea was with my school, King Edward VI Grammar School for Boys in Stratford-upon-Avon, the same school that Shakespeare went to, the idea was that you were smart, like you passed an exam. Let's go big face. So because you passed an exam and you were smart, you were going to put with all the smart kids and you were going to do clever stuff together and you'd all end up at Cambridge or Oxford. I mean, 90% of them did end up at Cambridge or Oxford, but a smaller percentage of us didn't and hated it. And all of that, polished shoes and buttoned up shirts and haircuts and strict rules, I didn't fancy that. Having to learn Latin wasn't up for that. There were some good points. It was a boys' school, which you don't think, oh, why is he saying that's a good point? But, none of that growing up, puberty, relationships, girls, none of that was at school. That happened outside of school. So in school, I didn't have to worry about whether I looked good or had a spot or any of that. So maybe there were some good points. I don't know. But yeah, I had some good times and some difficult times at school. I got off the topic again. The point I'm making is, how do you play the chuffing triangle?
7-8 inch triangle.
I thought we'd see a great big one. We didn't get to see a great big one. I'm not going to keep on it. We've 8 minutes left.
But you can also use it on the smaller triangles. You can also try playing the triangle inside.
We've seen that.
Play a rhythm here and mute it and unmute the sound with your fingers and thumb.
But that's the same as muted. That's just a combination of the other techniques. So don't try and pass off this as a new technique. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now we're talking. You're going to have to hear, and then in a second I'll play you a music track and you'll love it. Oh yeah. Don't get cocky, but you see he gave us the little, look at his face when he finishes this rhythm. Yeah, oh, I missed it again. There it is. Look at him. This one is for all the people who didn't want to pick up the triangle. This one is for all the people who gave me a triangle because I wasn't allowed to play on the accordion. This one is for the people that wouldn't let me play the piano. Are you ready?
That would be a technique we would use in a samba or music of Brazil, for example.
Oh, samba or music of Brazil. Samba is music of Brazil, mate.
So those are a few different ways to play the triangle.
Yeah, do you know what, though? You've opened my eyes, if not the top button of my shirt, and you've really inspired me. So thank you, Mr. Perrypole. Didn't give us his name, did it? Should give us his name, Mr. Perrypole. Musician and music educator, Kalani. All right, he doesn't even have a second name. He's one of those cool people with just a first name. He's doing it. Doing it for the kids. The kids are all right. Now, there was one thing I wanted to finish on, which was this tune by Zinc, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it off the top of my head. It is, it goes, Rollerball. See, now you think that why can't you remember a song? Because I've got like 3,000 vinyl records in the field of drum and bass and old school, and just picking one out the top of my head is not that easy, but it is really, because I can remember every one of them. And Rollerball, DJ Zinc. This will chuff up the copyright for us one final time. Oh, it's Die, not Zinc. See, I made a mistake, and I should have known it because I could picture that Full Cycle. I knew it was Full Cycle. Why did I think it was? Anyway, look, this is the record that I've got that I was referring to. What this part of the record is at the start, it's the triangle, isn't it? So, that's it, all connects. Well, it's just something that I thought of. But this is where you mix the record, and nobody really hears this early part. You can actually see, if I go to web browser, fine, I'm just going to finish on this point, and then... you can actually see on the record where it goes quiet and loud. At the very start is the very far edge of the record, and it's quiet because it's darker at the far edge because there's less density of scratches of grooves, so it's darker where it's quieter. And then as it builds up, there's actually a point you can see where it changes in the color consistency where it kicks in. And this second band, that second band of dark into light, is the second breakdown and build up in the middle of the record. So you can, I love vinyl for that. You can physically, it's like a map. Like you put your finger on and there you are. So this bit at the start is not really heard by many people. It's heard by the DJ when you're queuing up and mixing it in. And if you're good, you drop it right in this early stage and you can use this to mix with. Now, that doing, if you've been using that to mix with, that doing has to come in at perfectly the right time at the start of the bar. And if it doesn't, you know you've buggered it up. But I love this record for that because it's quite a difficult mix. But if you get it right from this early stage, it slips in so beautifully. And that's the triangle, isn't it? They've used the triangle. This gets exciting. Oh, it's gonna make you want to dance. Good in the way it builds up, the way it builds. And so as not to have to play a 6-minute record, I'll just skip on to the bit where it's kicked in. It doesn't sound much, but it really bangs. The reason this bangs so much The reason that bangs so much is because it sounds like there's not much there, because when you're mixing, it gives you the ability to put so much over the top. It's subtle enough to carry other things. So I think this is a really good record. I love that one, Rollerball by Die. But yeah, sorry, I'm going to have to stop it. DJ Die from Full Cycle, Bristol Sound, drum and bass. That's another story for another day. We've done a lot today. We've done some really interesting stuff. We've played that interesting game. We've talked about violence. We've gone on way off on a tangent. We've ended up talking about triangles. You can buy me coffees at Buy Me a Coffee. Even if you're watching this offline when it's edited, or just on the YouTube's full stream VODs, which you can watch on ganjikidd, just there, chuffers. Even if you're watching there, you can always coffee at any time. So that's why it's better than Twitch in a way. And it gives me all the money, not just 50% like Twitch does. So that's nice as well. And I'm going to get off now. I've got more to edit. You've got more to watch. You be good, my little puckas. You be good. And if you can't be good, then I'm going to arrange to have triangle delivered to your house. Not just any old triangle, though, but the world's largest triangle. Dong, dong, dong.